Hey guys, welcome to the Wealth Wisdom Financial Podcast YouTube channel, wherever you're listening to us. As you know, we've been doing lots and lots of more interviews, less of just me and Amanda rambling. We like to add in other people who actually they may be smarter than us. They actually do some of the same things that we do or similar. And today, though, I get to interview the banking bros. So as you guys know, Amanda and I, we've been doing business together, and we're still married. It's been 19 years, and two businesses. But now I get to interview two brothers who do the same kind of industry that we're in. They are the banking bros, real life brothers, Jeremiah and Jonah do. They want to teach people how to save and spend money at the same time by using something they were never taught growing up. I don't know, does that sound familiar? Uh, at school and at the office, this is that infinite banking concept. So we really want to like bring in how they found this concept. We could talk all day long about faith, about kids, about I don't know what else, all kinds of things. Their brother actually also used to own a coffee shop, or does own a coffee shop. So the other one, the third. So anyway, here is Jeremiah and Jonah. There you
What's
go.
going on?
All right.
Thanks for having
Appreciate
us.
that intro. Thank you for
I
having
know,
us.
right? Doesn't he have a coffee shop?
Yes. So we
Yes.
do have a brother between us in terms of lineage, and he has been in the coffee business for a while, decade
Yes.
or so, and has had shops and mobile catering as well for very high-end coffee. Yep.
I don't envy him at all. Being in that industry and all that. So kind of the blend between you guys and him is what we are, I guess. My wife and I with the
Mocha?
coffee and
What do you mean by
tea.
blend?
Oh, yeah, I could
Espresso?
go with mocha.
Okay.
I would say my favorite drink, and then we'll get into some of the stuff. We called it the Speziato. Speziato is spicy hot chocolate. It's mocha with cayenne pepper, five shakes of cayenne pepper.
5 shakes of cayenne
5 shakes
pepper.
of
I'm not
cayenne
sure I'm
pepper,
drinking this, but continue.
and hazelnut. Then you have espresso, of course, with coconut milk and 2% milk mixed, so you can actually steam it. And that was our signature drink, the Speziato. It's like a
Hmm.
spicy mocha.
Uh,
Amazing.
It sounds
Amazing.
good to me. It sounds like something I would like. It does not sound like something I'll be drinking, but I appreciate the whole ingredient list. Now I know what to avoid in my
Now you're
espresso
probably like
drink.
a black coffee all the way, right?
No, I actually don't prefer the taste of black coffee. I do like espresso, which is
Yeah.
interesting because I don't prefer black coffee, but I do like espresso. No, if I'm going to drink coffee, I'm definitely going to put some creamer in it, maybe a little
Yeah.
syrups and something
Yeah.
like that. I want some flavor.
I'm a purist if it's coffee. Um, and that's just me. So anyway, we could keep talking about coffee, but I want to talk about how you guys doesn't just randomly happen that two guys end up doing life insurance, right? How did you end
Sure.
up going from I don't know, Jeremiah and Jonah? What was life like before then, and who came first? Like the chicken, the egg? Like which one are you, the chicken and the egg that got each other
Yeah.
going?
All
And
right.
and how
Good
did you
questions.
convince the other person to say, "Hey, we should start a business"? Because you know this whole thing is amazing, but most people are like, "You're crazy." So
These are all good questions. You're right. Nobody grows up planning to be an insurance agent.
Yep.
Nobody. And we're the same way. So I guess I came first as the egg. I'm older.
or the,
So does the
or the
egg come
chicken.
before the chicken? No, it's the chicken. Is that what you're saying it is? Okay.
I don't
So I'm
know.
the older brother,
Yeah.
oldest of all three of us, the one who's not in the business as well. And we grew up in a family that didn't talk about money, not because it was taboo. We didn't talk about it because we didn't have anything. There was nothing to talk about. It would have been a pretty
Mhm.
short conversation. So
Mhm.
our parents were involved in ministry. And I know you have a history in that as well. and
Yep.
also in military. It's basically a military and ministry type mix. And we have a stepdad who is still an active Air Force chaplain. So
Nice.
that was some of our upbringing, a
Yeah.
little bit of moving around, transient. I'm also older than Jonah by a kid generation. So I'm 8 years older than Jonah. And
Okay.
we did not get into this space until we became little p practitioners and clients of somebody who taught
Mm,
infinite banking. And that was 2016. So we learned about it late 2015, 2016. So we're very much grown by then. It's a first generation thing for us. And our story about why we decided to go into business, that comes later.
gotcha. So so you got older brother taught little brother saying, I found this cool thing. So little brother, what where did you like say, are you're just crazy? Like how did
Well, I'm not sure. You said older brother taught little brother. Maybe that's the wrong phrasing. Older brother definitely discovered and was connected to people who could
there?
explain what infinite banking was first. But actually, right out of school, right when I finished college, I actually got a job working at a conventional bank. I was there
Mhm.
for about 2 years, 2.5 years. It really wasn't for me. A lot of my colleagues were leaving the banking industry and going to the insurance industry. So I followed suit. And so when at the time that I was seeing infinite banking for the very first time, my background was in traditional banking and in property and casualty insurance sales.
Oh, gotcha.
So when my older brother introduces, hey, they're using insurance. I don't really know what's happening, but it's insurance and they're using it for banks and you got to come learn. It was actually some things that were just right down my alley. I understood, I knew what was happening in that space, right? I- I could get us further along a little faster just because of the background I already had, right? And so it
Gotcha.
was
Yeah.
really introduced. He did introduce me to what was going on, and then from there it was kind of like a three-legged race, right? At some point we're together in the middle, but then one of us is taking the outside and kind of speeding the group along, that sort of thing. So
So it wasn't just one person, it was like a combined thing and like almost like a I don't know, I don't want to use all the religious language, but maybe the Holy Spirit or something was happening that kind of melded this together that you're like, oh wow, there's something here.
Hindsight 2020, right? You can put the dots together going backward. You cannot put the dots there going forward. So hopefully the Holy Spirit was in it. Hey, greed may have been a part of it. I'm sick of being broke, Brandon.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
that's how it may have started at the beginning. And yeah, so to be able to be groomed into a business partnership that you have
Hmm.
with a family member, you're doing the same thing in insurance sale. Like these aren't things you plan out, right? They
Yeah, yeah.
really aren't things you plan out. It's not a secondary generation business. Our folks don't know anything about insurance. We definitely outpace them in all categories, including property casualty. We just know more things about it. Money was not a big topic in our house. There's a lot of ministry focus. We definitely have servant leaders and lay people in our family. Mom and dad were working in church style stuff quite a bit, and including the military. So yeah, looking backward, oh yeah, seems like a God thing. Moving
Yeah,
forward, we're out here trailblazing, right? Pushing
right.
westward against an unforgiving wilderness.
Yeah. Maybe like more prophetic, if you will, if we
There
want
you
to go
go.
with yeah.
There you go.
Uh, and so probably even then, I'm curious. Um, so Dave Ramsey is has like a stronghold in the church world. Were your family friends, were they like fans of him? Did they listen to him? Was it not really a thing in your church background, or where was that? Where was he at?
Very interesting. Yes, actually. So 2005, I'm the one who remembers the numbers and the dates. In 2005, we live in the northwest corner called the Upstate. It's a 8 county region or so in South Carolina. And Dave Ramsey made an appearance at a church. And that church was in our town.
Hmm.
And mom in 2005 saw the marquee at the church. So then she goes to the radio and then hears him. So literally, Dave Ramsey's making an appearance at a church, and this is 2005. If you guys are
Hmm.
not thinking through the timeline of Dave Ramsey's comeuppance, this is not a big church. This is not an arena style mega church at all.
Hmm.
This is a congregation of under 500, and he's speaking. This is before he's got all the books. He's got two books probably at this point. So mom discovered the financial awareness in our family first. I'm in college at that time. Jonah's still in grade school, and that's where it came from. So I was very interested in mom's interest in this.
Mm.
I didn't
Yeah.
like talk radio, so I didn't really love Dave Ramsey to listen to him per se. She gave me this book, Total Money Makeover, told me to read it. I'm in college. I can't read books. I'm busy in class. And so I didn't read it till I finished school, 2006. But that was the awakening for me.
And as you seen this whole thing of the Dave Ramsey, he's gotten exposure, grown, uh, as well as some of us, right? Where has been some of the collide, I guess you could say, in the principles that you have, and as you teach your clients, specifically, I would say. Um, Culturally, probably you have a different, like, I was on the south side, right? And so we're taught, well, there's no money, or money's evil, or those kind of things. And how has that been reflective culturally for you guys? If that makes sense.
Yeah, sure. I'll jump in for that one. You are exactly correct. Now that we are adults and we have, of course, our own agency where we help people understand the infinite banking concept, we do combat or talk to people all the time who have got a big love for Dave and his teaching. And I respect Dave and his teaching, especially when he talks about getting out of debt. I think that it is the average American absolutely needs some of those principles, needs to apply them in their lives. It's when you get past getting out of debt that some of his principles start to fall apart. And for those who don't realize that the first part of his information and expertise applies really well, but the second half of his information and expertise start to fall apart. It's those people normally that say, well, it works so well in the first half, I don't know if I'm ready to not trust him and believe him on the second half, right? And so some
Yeah.
of those things that we have to combat often, or maybe his most famous lines and phrases, right? Where he talks about buying term and investing the difference. We talk to
Yeah.
people about that all the time. Maybe when he talks about cash is king, we have a saying around here that cash is not king. It's actually cash flow. Cash flow is
Yep.
king.
Yep. Yep.
He talks a lot about having no debt, cutting up your credit cards. People used to get on the internet or get on the radio, right, and scream freedom from Braveheart, I think, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And he doesn't use any debt. Well, of course, we coach and teach people that you can use debt to your advantage as leverage. There's other things that you can do, other things that you could consider. And
Yeah.
so there's a couple of fundamental teachings that Dave has that we combat all the time. When it comes to like cultural differences, in my opinion, the people that we've worked with up to this point, it's not like a super vast cultural difference, in my opinion. Of course, there are avenues and areas where it could be and is, but for most of the time, the people that we decide to work with have absolutely heard of Dave, heard of his teaching, apply some of it, not all
Hmm.
of it, and it seems like that's the growing uh, facade with Dave. We're going to listen to some things, not all. I can verify some things, but this other thing that he said, like I know for a fact it can be different, that sort of thing. And we end up running to that a lot. So
Yeah.
hopefully that answered your question.
Well, and it just I'm again an activist at heart, and I think about some of the systems that are in place that keep us maybe in slavery, if you will. I'm from the Chicago, and in Chicago, there's the South Side and the North Side, and there's a freeway that divides. Right, and so there was systematic oppression that created, and I believe that part of our job and what your jobs are is to help us have freedom, full freedom, not just economic or personal freedom, but we're celebrating as I record this. It's close to the 4th of July, and just thinking about that idea of financial freedom and how is, like, for you guys being in this world of infinite banking, how has that changed for you guys thinking, hey, we're helping people actually be free, not just yelling freedom and then going back into slavery because something happened, client that happened to a
Mhm.
client of mine,
Yeah.
but staying financially free. And how have you been able, or are you able to educate your clients, and why does infinite banking matter so much?
That's a great question and a great point because I will corroborate your message that when I got out of debt, and this was student loans only, not consumer debt. I told you I finished college in 2006. Mom handed me the book. So I've got student loans, but I didn't have a car note. I didn't have a house mortgage. I didn't
Hmm.
have kids, things like that. Uh, I got to the point, I was so frugal, so focused, laser focused on the goal, gazelle intensity, if you understand Dave's kind of
Yeah.
terminology. I got out of debt, but I wasn't used to spending any money. And I got to the second half. Jonah pointed that out, didn't know what to do, didn't know how to do it, didn't, my expenses started to skyrocket. I'm moving toward eventually marriage and kids and things like that. So I didn't know
Hmm.
how to handle that. I just knew how to be frugal. So you're exactly right. That's not freedom. Now I'm afraid to go eat at Burger King because I've
Yeah.
been afraid to eat at Burger King for the last 3 years. So Garrett Gunderson talks about this a lot. It's a lot easier to get into the mindset of frugality or scarcity
Hmm.
than it is sometimes of abundance of opportunity. So what I
Yeah.
really needed to be doing was looking at how do I make more money in the marketplace rather than how do I make sure I never look at Netflix, right? That's not really living abundant. Now, you don't need to have Netflix to feel abundant. The point is I wasn't feeling abundant because I never spent money. I didn't know
Yeah.
how
Yeah.
to. I didn't know what I
Yeah.
should go for an opportunity because I'm like, no, 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 you never spend your money. You just hoard it. So what we help people understand is there is the save and spend system. The money that you
Yeah.
make, you need to keep the money that you make, but you still have to be able to spend, leverage, and move toward abundance. Like you said, we think that's a biblical principle as well, where um, Jesus talked about, I came to give you life and that abundantly. So we look at 6 areas of life. Often we talk about it sometimes in our stuff, especially in our one on one conversations. That's how we coach our clients: fun, family, friends, fitness, financial, and faith. Those are the 6 areas. So we're looking for
Yeah.
abundance in all those things. And the plans of the diligence lead to abundance. That's also biblical. So you're exactly right. What we're trying to help people understand is what metrics are we going to actually look for? Are we looking for proudness that we only eat
Hmm.
beans and rice? Or are we looking for how much of the money that you made did you keep in a certain period of time? And how are your passive investments doing? Are we moving toward dollars that continue to generate into your life passive residual income higher than your bills? And what if that passive residual income is also income tax free? So there are different
Yeah.
words and language we can use around money while still being not a spender, right? We would not being an over consumer. I don't know what the term is right there, but not being crazy. We're going to be frugal and smart, and but it's very much interesting.
Hmm.
We're talking about that cultural divide as well. Our stepdad, who is in the Air Force, is in ministry. He's from Southside Chicago, right?
Yeah.
Robbins, Illinois. So I guess he's on the underside of that freeway. I don't know.
Yeah.
You know better than me. Yeah, there we go. So there's a lot of people who come from that side of the freeway or the side of the tracks, or maybe even that side of the church
Hmm.
congregation. Hey, we're
Hmm.
organ side people. Organ side people are broke, and piano side people got a little more money, that type of thing. So we're trying to help people understand that, but it starts internally. And you're right. It is mental, it's a cultural shift, it's a mindset shift
Yeah.
before it's actually a money shift.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, what would you say?
I would agree at this point. I was I
Yeah.
was gonna jump in and
Yes.
say some more, but I think he did it well enough that I'm gonna
Yeah.
take the next one, and I'm gonna say that I agree.
Nice. I was just I don't want to make sure I'm like, oh yeah, we're just having. I want to. All of us have a real
Oh, we can
conversation.
go
So,
back and
Oh
forth. It's
yes.
oh yeah.
fine. We've
So,
we've been on so many great podcasts with folks who are colleagues in this business. We've kind of gotten into the cadence,
yeah.
unwritten. Like I'll take one, then you take the next one.
It,
Unless somebody calls us out for something specific.
well, and one of the things I think about is why I'm in this is it became I'm a all about ethical economics and community building. That's what the coffee shop was. Buying ethical coffee. You can't say that I'm going to set people free and then oppress people by buying bad coffee that is horrible for other people. Just because I don't see them doesn't mean it's,
Yeah.
you know.
Good point.
And so that was why we got into this, and why we got into this financial system, is saying, oh my gosh, this thing is built to keep us in slavery. You just use credit cards and you never can get out because you had a mistake, and now you're 32% interest. And people will ask, well, um, if you just have a policy, life insurance, it'll solve it. So as you guys have been working with clients, how have you worked with them to say, maybe it's not a policy, maybe it's a mindset thing before we do that? How have you been able to coach them, or what do you do when you know this, they're not ready for it? But I mean, they maybe have the money, but they need something else. I don't know. Does that make sense? I'm
Sure.
trying to think through the mindset.
Yeah, it makes sense. I'll talk a little bit about some things that we've talked about internally, some things that we've done with clients, but realistically, you're exactly correct. Buying a whole life insurance policy, specifically one designed to be used for the infinite banking concept, does not shift your mentality and make you way wealthier than you were 5 minutes ago or last week.
Hmm.
That's just not what it is. And we've had many a conversations about how can we turn the people that we work with from whole life policy owners to
Hmm.
infinite bankers, because they're
Yeah.
they're not the same. Now you might think, well, I bought the infinite banking policy, so no, that makes me an infinite banker. But no, buying the policy makes you a whole life insurance policy
Mm.
holder.
Yeah.
There's some mindset things, there's some actions that you've got to be comfortable with in order to turn yourself into an infinite banker. And infinite banking is what unlocks and unleashes that potential, right? Infinite banking is what can provide the cash flow. Infinite banking is what can provide the mindset shift and more. And so there's lots of things that we do, but most importantly, we kind of teach people that it's a process. This is not
Hmm.
something that you're just going to get on day one, right? If you just get it on day one, or you just buy the thing and that would change it, everybody would own it. Everybody would buy it. They'd be working
Yeah.
really hard to save up so they can buy the one thing that makes everything better, right? It just doesn't work like that. I talked to a gentleman just a few weeks ago who called our phone, said, I've got X amount of money, a few $100,000. My goal is to have passive cash flow of X, a few $1,000s a month. And so I'm looking for the product that'll do it. That's literally how he started the conversation. And so by the time we were finished with the conversation, right, it was an understanding that there's not a magic product,
Hmm.
fella. There's not one. If there was one, I would have bought it first. And
Yeah.
I'd be
Yeah.
telling you it's this product. You'd be able to search on the internet, what's the product that worked so well for all these famous people, and you'd be able to just buy that and you'd have it, right? It's not the product, it's actually the mindset shift.
Yeah.
That particular person is not actually a client of ours. He's not working with us. And I probably knew that 30 seconds into the conversation when he started the conversation by saying, I'm looking for the quick fix. Right.
Yeah.
And it's like, that's not somebody that's going to be coachable and teachable and be willing to walk through this process together in order to actually accomplish the goal. So I think that's most important to the people that we work with, just understanding it's a process. We're here to help you. We're going to
Yeah.
guide you through it. We've got all sorts of fun stuff, resources and classes and live events, and you can join us live and ask questions. We got all sorts of stuff, but the important part is that you've got someone to actually walk you through it, to actually help you. And if you've got that and you stick to the plan, then that plan
Yep.
can become your reality, whether it takes you a couple months or a couple years, right? You can make it happen.
That's awesome. Again, as people come in and as they listen to our content and your content, it is about the mindset and the heart, and not just hey, you buy this and it'll quick fix, like solve, right? And that's the consumeristic side. You just buy this and you'll be happy tomorrow, and it's a different thing. Now, I want to go back to some of the civil rights. I was recently in Montgomery, Alabama. It was about a year ago, and I come across this guy named A.G. Gaston. Have you ever heard of him?
Yes.
So he says a portion of all you earn is for you to keep. I've heard it somewhere else too, like, I don't know, profit first, richest man in Babylon,
There you
those
go.
kind of things. And I'm like, oh my gosh. this guy, I think there's some other things, that he did as far as banking goes, and formed an insurance company, but he was able to fund the civil rights movement. Um, um, he was one of those people. Have you guys ever like thought about or heard? I'm sure you've heard about him, but what are your thoughts on what happened back in the
Yeah, it's
that
a
concept?
great story. Talking about, so I've read the book Green Power.
Hmm.
So that book is based on his life,
Hmm.
and during the civil rights movement specifically, he had made it big at that point, and he
Hmm.
was able to fund and finance a lot of the things that were going on. I'm not sure how much was going on in Montgomery. I think he lived in Birmingham, so
Yeah,
there was
Birmingham. Yeah,
okay, got it.
yeah,
So but it's all Alabama, of course,
yeah,
but so Birmingham was, if anybody remembers out there, Birmingham. This is Bull
yeah,
Connor. This is the
yeah,
bombing of the 16th Street Baptist Church and the four little girls. This is where the march, kids march happened. This is letter from a Birmingham jail. All this stuff.
mhm, yeah,
Birmingham is huge for all
yeah,
this stuff, and partially because it was backed by A.G. Gaston. So A.G. Gaston first started a burial insurance for
mhm,
burial, and black family um, kind of system for,
yeah,
and these people are paying 25 cents a month
yeah,
for
yeah,
their premiums,
yeah,
in 1910 and things like that. By 1960, this man has got a lot of money, and
yeah,
in the 90s, he died in like 96, I want to say.
yeah,
um I don't remember exactly, but he's in our lifetime for sure. He
yeah,
died. He was estimated to be the richest black person at some point in the United States.
mhm,
So about 140 or so million dollars. So I remembered a few things about his life. It was just so significant. And he
yeah,
built it on the back of a life insurance
yeah,
system,
yeah,
and did so much philanthropic stuff for his community as well. But what was interesting about him is he came from nothing, and he realized a profitable business. But kind of like you said, look, I want to be in an ethical business. I want to be in a business that helps people. So if we're gonna, have child slave labor to get these coffee beans, I don't want to be a part of that. Maybe
yeah,
those are things that have crossed your plate, crossed your mind. Mr. Beast, he's huge right now. He's got a chocolate company, and so these are beans that are in the ground. And he realized, man, there's childhood slavery everywhere.
mhm,
I don't want
yeah,
to be involved with that, even though I'm in a chocolate company. Well, A.G. Gaston is in a business of insurance. And
yeah,
crazy enough, you think about this. Of course, we're all going to die one day. That's an inevitable.
yeah,
We're all going to pass away. So there's a loss there. But outside of that loss, which we know is coming, that A.G. Gaston, me and you can't do anything about, no one loses in insurance.
yeah,
No one loses. Everyone is made whole. So by us putting in that quarter, our family can get that $1,000, 110 years ago, for
yeah,
the
yeah,
burial. We
yeah,
can be made whole. The insurance company wins. The insurance agent wins. There's commission, and the family wins. Actually,
mhm,
no one loses in this. We all collectively bear the burden of the person that died, but nobody gets taken advantage of at
yeah,
all.
yeah,
So all parties win. And that is very interesting. That's not why we got in for the community. We got in because we wanted to use the system and learned, well, the
yep,
agent that helps us out wins, we
yep,
win, and the insurance company wins. And in a mutual company environment, which we use for the infinite banking concept, there's even dividends. So there's no outside shareholders that need to be answered
yeah,
to in a mutual environment as well. So very interesting that the Martin Luther King movement of the late 50s and 60s in Birmingham was financed by the guy who
yep,
had the insurance company, but he also had the restaurant and the motels and things like that, so people could stay. When they
yep,
came to town and get ready for the march, we've got MLK taking pictures on that balcony. We all have seen a few of them, and everybody kind of in the courtyard there. He's talking to the kids or talking to the adults before the children's march. Boom, that's A.G. Gaston's hotel, and he was able to keep things moving and grooving and going when
yeah.
there was obviously disenfranchisement against the black community in Birmingham in the South for those types of topics. So they got the money from AG.
And this is something I again thinking about this stuff and saying, hey, we want to start a movement. The With Nelson Nash, he was there as well, and
Yeah, he's from Birmingham, right?
I loved
Crazy.
his faith background
Uh-huh.
and what he says, and then just thinking about um, what we're doing as a culture and as even business owners. We sell life insurance, right? It's crazy that we do this, but it's so much fun when people get it and how this will impact communities. We could impact whole communities by introducing them. Like you guys did this in a your one brother telling another brother, right? And others that then changed a family, right? And that's I don't know, family banking. Isn't that what
That
it's
is
called?
that's exactly
Something.
what it is. This week I had a conversation with a family who is now in a three generation
Mhm,
infinite banking structure. And so grandma and grandpa showed up. I saw them at a New Year's party. Jonah and I presented to them. They hadn't seen a presentation. They brought 10 people. Half of them are
mm,
from their family. We went down to the Ronald McDonald House, offered us a room, and they brought people to hear this for the very first time. It's been 4.5 years. They've got policies in three generations of that family. Several of them have adopted, several of them are slow to understand what's going on, but now they're in that capital crunch flip, right? Their policies are getting to the point 4 years in where even if they didn't bank with it and they didn't utilize it, and it's just something that's
mm,
accumulating cash value. They're an owner, but not a banker yet. They're in the place where now it's running efficiently enough that a dollar goes in and more than a dollar could come out. And they're
yeah,
starting to ask new questions, but they also have them in three generations. So things are going to really change for that family in the next four and the next 40 years. It's all different now.
yeah. It's so fun, right? As you guys have done this and start seeing this. How long you guys been in the business?
It's been almost 8 years for us, 7 in a few months.
So I just think about this as like I don't know if I'll retire, but like to be able to or whatever that word means. I know Nelson didn't like that word, but like thinking about us, we're younger, how that's going to be 50 years from now. So, what are some things that, as you guys have been doing this, seeing this for 8 years, similar to us, that some of the things that you're like, oh my gosh, do I have to fight this again? Uh, and you just want to get over this, I don't know, mindset hump. What's one of those things that you're just like, seriously, I'm so tired of this conversation.
Well, that can happen lots if you're not in a good mental space, right? But I think the important thing is understanding that you got to meet people where they are. And because of
Mhm,
a lot of the work that we do on podcasts like this and YouTube videos and social media, is that we talk to first timers a lot.
mhm.
And
Yeah,
first timers generally ask the same set of questions, right? A little different from person to person, but generally the same set of
yeah.
questions. And so, actually, one of the best things that I think you can do in this business is get really good at answering that first set of questions and
Mm,
not allowing your brain to play that mental trick on you to say, oh my gosh, here we go again with the same question, right?
mhm.
That's actually a lot of where our business impotence started because we wanted to make videos or resources for people who ask the same question because a
Yeah.
little bit of that was true. Man, we just keep answering the same thing. What if we could make a video to answer it for us, that sort of thing. But honestly, I mean, talking to people, we talk to people every single day about
Yeah.
all stages of infinite banking, whether they're introduced to it for the first time, in the process of getting their policy started, have just gotten their policy started, have had their policy for a week or 6 months or 6 years. We talk to people, and generally speaking, it's all almost the same set of questions, right? It just depends on where they are. And
Yeah.
so, one thing for me that I've really been focusing on is not to allow my brain to play that trick on me, where I'm getting tired or burnt out because of the same question. What's important is to understand that it's the first time that that person is asking the
Yeah.
question, and so therefore, I need to be available for them, excited for them. Happy to answer and make sure that I help them in the best way possible.
That's good. I think so, also as you talk to people, making sure, like, I guess that they're teachable, like they want to hear the answers and step into it. Um, and that's one of I like you guys have the cups,
We
the
do.
different, I don't remember. You can explain the cup thing, but I kind of think about like the profit first, the 10 10 10 savings, or you know, bucketing system, and I think that's similar. If you want to tell people what is that, you say this all the time. This kind of cup idea.
Yeah, so I'll tell you, your last question and this question kind of fit together.
Hmm.
There was a time where I was chatting with a lot of people every single day, trying to get them to understand how to use their policy. So I was in a specific place in our business where I was talking to all the folks who just recently started policies, having a call with them to make sure that they understood. And what I realized
Hmm.
is people were having a big brain uh, uh,
Leap.
fault. Yeah,
Yeah,
like a
the leap.
stoppage. There's a stoppage point when we talked about really the difference between withdrawing money from a system, from a bank account, and loaning money, and they were
Hmm.
not putting it together. And so I think I was complaining internally, and maybe complaining to my brother, who says, "Well, what we should do is make a video or make an example." And I
Yeah.
said, "Well, this is what I always say, and I've said it 14 times today. You know, we got to do something a little bit better." And that's really where the 3 cup setup was born. I'll let Jeremiah jump in to explain exactly what our 3 cup setup is.
Yes. What happened was people kept not quite understanding that when they take money from their policy, get money from the insurance company, borrow against their cash value, man, they're not withdrawing anything, like Jonah said. It's a
Hmm.
different bucket. And he's just, woe is me while being aggressively complaining after getting off a call where I'm sure it was tough. And I said, well, I mean, I don't know, create some video, think of what to do. He's like, I don't know what to do. That's the whole point. That's why I'm complaining. Like, they think it's in the same buckets in a different bucket. And I said, well, let's put it in a different bucket. So that's how the 3 cup setup was born. So we show the 3 cup setup. There's 3 cups and a side of dividends. There's a small shot glass normally when you look at our stuff. And you can find
Hmm.
this at 3cupsetup.com if you want to watch the
Hmm.
video. And we have them online and a couple of different YouTube videos, lots on our social media short version stuff as well. But cup one is where we give the insurance company money. We pay premium. So that's going to be the
Yep.
red cup one. We're going to deposit premium in this so we can kind of combine the idea of paying premium and putting a bank together. So we have premium and we have deposit, sometimes written on the cups. And that buys us a policy. That's cup 3, actually. It's a blue cup because we are guaranteed at death to be blue in the
Hmm.
face, and we got a blue cup for that. So they'll send you money at that point. There's a big payout, a pool of money. We've got peace of mind and a big pile of cash. Everything, of course, is alliterated because we grew up Baptist. So it's a bunch of
Yeah.
P words here so
Yeah.
far. And then cash value is the equity we have so far. Because we bought the entirety of the death benefit day 1, they must pay it if we died day 2. They'd be upset if they had to pay it that early
Yep.
because they miscalculated when we die.
Yep.
The cash value is how much of what we bought is equity so far. We understand that in real estate. Everybody seems to get it in real estate and life insurance. We blow our minds away trying to figure out what is going on. So cash value is green. The money's green can be spent, and cash
Yep.
value in cup number 2 is ready to be leveraged. We can borrow against cash values, and we physically take money out of this cup when we're doing our showmanship and we're showing people what's up. So the 3 cup setup is premium, cash value, and death benefit. And we organize policies on purpose to be structured that there is cash value day 1.
Yep.
Dividends are a little shot glass that come annually with the right type of company and the right type of policy build. And that's a lesser thing to understand at the outset. But if people can kind of see that visually, and social media offers us the opportunity to take something that took Nelson an entire book and 20 years and 10-hour seminar, well, what if we can put it in 2 minutes really quickly so
Yep.
people can kind of visualize it and watch 100 of them in a row? Maybe they'll get it. That really was the beginning of something that really changed for us at a time during COVID where social media was spiking in terms of viewership on TikTok and Instagram. We got involved. Jonah complained enough. We thought of something we could do about it. And boom, we now have some sort of kind of flagship visual.
Yeah.
And set up for people to understand, whoa, that's what's going on. Well, now I get the policy I already own. And the next person goes, oh, well, if that's how it works, that's
I'll do
easy.
it.
Why didn't the other guy say that? And we're like, well, it
Yeah.
took us 4 years to come up with 3 cups. So like give the other guy some credit, even though he shows spreadsheets.
I think that the visual thing and why I wanted to bring that up is because, younger people are more visual, and we have 30-second. I don't know, we're like squirrels. We can't even like keep track for 30 seconds,
Right.
let alone 10 hours. And so, how do we best position? I don't know what our lizard brains are going to be like in 5 years from now.
Sure.
We're going to be like, what do we need a cup for? I don't know how we're going to do it, but it's going to be crazier. But I love that for what you guys are doing. So, anything, I know we've been going for a while. Anything you want to make sure that we share, or that as you've been doing this, that you want to make sure that you are giving, that you maybe, the big thing that you're like, hey, this is why I do all this.
Yeah.
This is the
Yeah.
main reason. Maybe it's life insurance. That's a great thing, infinite banking. But what's the biggest thing that you're like, I want to leave
I think
this
there's
world
an
with?
internal motivation for both of us. It's very collective, even though we're different people. We are brothers. We work together all the time. There's a very collective motivation that there is something different for our children than we had. Both of us
Mhm.
are dads. I have 4, he has 3. And both of us often talk about our kids and how we are training them to understand this, how we are buying toys and Pokemon cards. We both have boys. And
Mhm.
we're doing that type of stuff all the time. So I think for us, being able to help families understand, especially entrepreneurial families, families like ours, families who look like us, families with little kids, be able to shift the conversation that money is not the root of all evil. Being in love with it because you don't understand it, and being in love with it and so you
Mhm.
hoard it, and being in love with it so you don't share it, being in love with it so you give it all away no matter what. All of those things are coming from a place from someone who is not at home and at rest using it,
Yeah.
understanding it. That's what we'd like to change. So when we ask people on the phone in the first 5 minutes, hey, how much do you make and how much are you keeping, whatever, it's normal conversation in our
Yeah.
families, normal conversation with our kids. I think that's a big motivation for us. And so being able to help people who want the information, and they want education first. We're
Yeah.
educating here. We're not selling you one specific thing. And there's so many people, hey, tell it to me straight before we get into whatever pitch you have. And I'm like, this is not going to go well. Kind of like he said, it's not
Yeah.
going to go
Yeah.
well
Yeah.
because in the end, you have to be convinced you'd like to buy. And one of our things that we are very conscious about, and we'll tell people on a free consultation call about your cash flow, is you need to pick the numbers, not
Yeah.
me. That's
Yep.
kind of why I'm going to talk about cups for 30 minutes because you're going to have to pick the numbers. If you pick some numbers, we'll talk about those. But until then, I'm just making stuff up. So
Yep.
we want to educate first. That's a big thing for us.
Yeah, I mean, I would echo what my brother said, and also just talk a little bit more. We talked about at the beginning of the episode here, just about cash flow. Cash flow to me gives you the freedom to do the things that you love to do, the things that you want to do, to spend the time with the people that you love, or time doing what you'd love to do. And so for me, that's a really big motivation and a really big piece that I want to help lots of people with. Like, listen, we got to get your cash flow in a place where you now have the freedom to choose, to right, to make those choices yourself about who to help, who to bless, who to spend time with, where to go. And that for me is a big man, that's a big internal motivation.
Yeah.
Sometimes I remind folks that back when I was working at the bank or at the insurance company, we used to have some quarterly meetings, right? And they would say, where do you see yourself in 5 years? And of course they're looking for an answer a couple steps higher on the corporate ladder and still here, and right. And I used to tell them, at home is where I see
Yeah.
that's where I want to go. I want to go home. That's where I like to be. Those are the people I like to hang out. Like, I just want to go home.
Yeah.
And that for me, I did not realize it at the time, but of course, get a little older, realize it now. It's cash flow that makes the decision for you.
Yeah.
You do You can do those things if your cash flow is passive, if your cash flow is $1 higher than your bills are, if your cash flow can come in without you having to work for it, right? Instead of active income, passive income. And that's possible through infinite banking. And so that's what I want to help people understand and help people realize. But like I said earlier as well, it's a process, right?
Yeah.
It doesn't just happen on day one. You got to work for it.
Yep. I think it's all about that when I talk to clients. It's all about that freedom, right? And everybody wants financial freedom. They want to be able to do what they want when they want to do it. But it takes work and effort to build the right cups, put in the right things in place. But our kids, my son, he's like, man, I just wish money wasn't a thing. He thinks about that because he hears about some people not getting paid well and other people that are. And he's like, I don't like that. That's bad. But then he also learns the power of compounding. He has "Don't Interrupt My Compounding" a T-shirt, and
love that.
it's up to us as parents and you guys as you listen to be the don't just give it to the educators and say they're going to teach me about money, but understand how the flow of money works. And if you don't understand, be around people that are trying to learn that flow and change that, because that's how we're going to change our next generation, I believe. So any closing thoughts before we leave?
We love that we were here. Thank you for the conversation. If anybody out there in your audience world wants to look up our stuff, you can find us at The Banking Bros on most of the platforms that you like. And you can go straight to a website called saveandspendsystem.com for a getting started video and kind of how we do our process. We appreciate it.
Cool. Awesome. Well, thanks again for joining us. Don't forget, guys, hit that like, subscribe, share, to all the things that you do on the social media world. So, and we will talk to you next time.